Hey everyone, welcome back to
Guardsmen will
Warhammer.
get their supplies now.
Ooh, they're much louder. Welcome back to Warhammer 40k. I made some audio adjustments based on the comments. Thank you for leaving a comment. You know who you are. The feedback is actually immensely helpful for me for fine-tuning the viewing experience. I feel like I'm a...
Titus, you are a man of your word, my lord. Thank you.
What is your situation, Lieutenant?
We're gathering our wounded and are heading to the Andris habitation block to establish an outpost. With the cannon down, our support craft will land there.
Very well. My battle brothers and I must secure any operational Warlord-class Titans before the Orcs can loot them.
Good luck.
I was gonna say I sound corporate, but then the game cut me off. So hopefully that's better for them talking. I think it will be. And then someone told me how to throw grenades, so we're gonna try that right now. Left bumper. Got him. Cool, so... No, that's a good way to start the episode. One shot. Where are they running to? So something I was going to talk about was, I was talking earlier today about the idea of crossovers. Like, for example, well, I want to talk more Warhammer lore because I think that's interesting. I want to talk about the Emperor, so hopefully I'll do that before I forget. But in the meantime, I want to talk about crossovers and how some people really seem to be into them and others not so much. And I think there's legitimacy to both sides of the viewpoint. Though I think me as an individual, that's how I've always rolled. Like, I think that two positions to any argument, or I think on a surface level, I don't think opinions can be wrong. I think people are welcome to have the opinions that they want to have. Okay, can I... Okay, that's... roll. I haven't played this for like a week, so I need to remember the controls. But I don't think anyone should have an opinion and then they're just quote-unquote wrong. So, for example, what I mean to say is that if I said I like Warhammer 40k more than Star Wars, which is, for me, that's actually the case. I do prefer Warhammer 40k over Star Wars. I don't think that's wrong, but if someone said I prefer Star Wars more than Warhammer 40k, I don't think that's necessarily wrong either. I think there's merits to both, and I think it's more nuanced than what I'm making out to be. I think, and I'll try to come back to this later on. But as far as crossovers go, I think some people like them because they like the idea of seeing how their universe that they're into would interact with another universe. Which, for me, I think I fall into that category. I'm always curious to see like how...
Adeptus Mechanicus are masterful architects.
Their work outlived all of them.
Oh, fudge. What is over here? Grenades. I don't need the grenades. Oh, but there's ammunition here, so that's pretty cool. What was I going on about? I don't remember.
What in Williman's name is that?
Goldman.
Did the lieutenant not say these tracks went to the complex housing the Titans?
That thing is a battering ram.
Board the ramp. Oh, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna have a train mission. So whatever I think I was saying is that, so on one hand, I think it's cool to imagine how franchises would interact with one another. However, I think some people might not like the idea of crossovers because they don't like how... Let me make this point with an example. So, if we had, say, a Star Wars and a Warhammer 40k crossover, yes, I think that would be interesting, but I think because they're fundamentally different universes, there might be concerns as to like how they interact with one another. So and I think the basic summary of my point is that you couldn't have... I want to grab this Orc Slam.
Space Marines to kill!
That's brutal. Okay. Let me know how that is for the volume, because I think it's definitely louder for me, but maybe I'm just going crazy. And this gives me time to articulate what I want to say. Because if you have a Warhammer and Star Wars crossover, Warhammer and Star Wars are two very distinct things, and so mixing them, I think you would alienate at least one fan base by doing so. It'd be like mixing, say, chocolate and pizza. I think they're both good things by themselves, but then when you mix them together, you can get, I was gonna say, unintended consequences.
Unfortunately, yes. My first orc invasion, which I hope will be my last. Right. Next.
Oh man, we lose a lot of health. Yeah, this is a very violent and bloody game. There's blood everywhere. Alright, very good. Hold on, I am gonna check the audio. Oh, we can only... Oof. We're gonna do this, I think. Oh, no. Accept. There you go. So, and if you think about it, a Star Wars film is kind of like a space fantasy opera. And it's not too over the top. Like, it has a very distinct feel is basically what I'm going to go for. I don't want to try and describe Star Wars because, frankly, I don't think I could do a good job. Whereas for Warhammer 40k, like, we just saw how I just torched those orcs. There's blood everywhere. And, like, I had this chainsaw sword. And it was extreme melee combat. Like, that's not something you would get in Star Wars. So if you had a crossover, and with Warhammer, let's try a grenade. Hey, grenades work out pretty well. If you had that kind of crossover, and say we didn't have any of like the melee violence or the blood or anything, you might say it's like, oh, it's like a Star Wars film with Warhammer elements in it, but then the Warhammer fans might not feel at home because it's like, well, that doesn't feel like a Warhammer 40k film at that point, or a crossover, or whatever have you. And I think in some cases, you can have those crossovers, because I think in some cases, the universes are close enough that they're just compatible. So, if we were to combine Batman and Spider-Man, I think you can have Batman exist in the Spider-Man universe. And some of you might disagree with me, but this is just for the sake of the argument, to get my point across. You can have Batman in a Spider-Man universe, and him still feel like Batman, but yet be consistent with the Spider-Man universe. Like, that wouldn't be too much of a contradiction. And I think that could work out, but I think in the case of like Warhammer and Star Wars, I think they're too different, but you know, maybe I'm wrong. Like, maybe you could blend the two IPs and have something interesting come out of it. It's hard to say, because I mean, we don't have that. But I'm just
imagining... Stop this ram! Time to impact!
No more than 6 minutes.
Time enough.
Stop the orc battering ram. Okay. What can we do? I'm gonna run around like a silly goat for a minute. And there's nothing here. Okay. I'm gonna open this door and march it. Oh, man. I almost lost track of time. So that's my basic musings of crossovers. Though, again, like, for me, the alert is, like, I just want to know how the two universes would interact. But I think, if anything, it's just mostly an interesting thought experiment. I don't think it will be something that will be ever be realized, though. We do live in a world where where Disney owns both Marvel and Star Wars, so we live in a world where a Star Wars Marvel crossover is a theoretical possibility. And, you know, I might even go as far as say that seems more likely than a Warhammer Star Wars crossover. One down. Alright, well, I'm going to end the episode here, so thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. So until then, bye!